I think I am live. This is all very unplanned. Usually I announce these lives, but I wanted to talk a little bit more about a post that I made yesterday that was titled Psychic versus Being Awakened, because that was a very spontaneous post that I did early in the morning, and I unexpectedly got a lot of response on that post, both on Threads and on Instagram. I posted it on Threads and on Instagram, and it was just a quick thing that popped into my head because this is something that not a lot of people think about. Psychic abilities versus being an awakened person. A lot of people think that that is one and the same thing, and it isn't. And because there are so many people that are now awakening, that have the desire to be awakened and in alignment with their highest self, with God, Source, Creator. You may have noticed that I say the word God a lot. That may confuse you if you're new to me, but I do that on purpose because what I'm saying when I say God, obviously, is just source energy, the source, the creator of all things. That's what I mean when I say that. And I say God because then it's going to make people think like, oh, but you're talking about all this new age stuff, psychic stuff, spiritual stuff, but you're talking about God, because I want you to think about that word and put it in a different perspective and see that its source is what I mean. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So if you have not yet seen that post, I'm just going to read it to you because I just wanted to add some more stuff that I didn't get to add because it was just a quick post on Threads and on Instagram. So it's all about being psychic versus being awakened, and you can be both, or you can be psychic or you can be awakened. So not all psychics or intuitively gifted people are in alignment with God or in service to others. Psychic/intuitive abilities and alignment are not the same thing, and this distinction is important to understand because being psychic simply means someone that can tune into energy. It doesn't guarantee that they're channeling the God frequency or that their intentions align with Mother, Father, God. And like I said a little bit earlier, source energy, God, creator, all the same thing. There are psychics who connect with God, Source, Creator, and teach from a place of service to others, and they align their intuitive abilities with their highest purpose, sharing insights that are in tune with this God frequency. And on the other hand, there are those who, while psychically gifted, operate from a different space and sometimes unknowingly connecting with false light energies or serving or self-serving intentions. And newly awakened people often absorb information like sponges, eager to learn and understand, and this openness is a beautiful gift, but it also makes discernment essential. And when we are wide open and seeking, it's easy to mistake someone's psychic abilities for spiritual truth, but not everything that shines is divine light. True spiritual alignment invites you to grow and connect deeply with God and your higher self. It empowers you to discern truth, not rely solely on another's perspective. And it does not necessarily mean positive vibes only. Awareness and God connection also comes through burning away illusion to illuminate the truth, like the golden dragons always say, and becoming empowered and connected to God through remembering your spiritual inheritance. And spiritual discernment helps you separate what truly serves your growth from what may simply be a display of abilities without divine alignment. So asking your dragon guide to come in to illuminate the truth within your heart will open the path for you to see more clearly from a place of awakened empowerment. So that was the post that I made yesterday. That was all very spontaneous. And as you can see, this video is also very spontaneous because it's cold. And I woke up and I drank a coffee. And now I'm just sitting here in the cold, but I wanted to be outside for this video because it's been raining, and now I finally get to be outside in the sun a little bit, even though it's cold. So I'm gonna keep on reading. within the spiritual awakening community, there are a lot of people that are newly awakening that will go online and seek out information and assume that anyone who's psychic or intuitively gifted is also therefore in alignment with Mother, Father, God, and in service to others. But these two, like I said in the beginning, are not necessarily synonymous. Being psychic is not necessarily the same as being on a path of service to God or others. You can be psychic and not in alignment with God and teach from a false light perspective. Simply because you have the ability to tune into energy does not mean it's good energy. And you have people who are in alignment with God and tuning into psychic abilities through God and teaching from that point of view. And most people that are newly awakening do not realize this and are just ready to absorb knowledge like a sponge. So they go and research from this space of being fully wide open and taking it all in. And there needs to be more awareness around that. So why am I saying this? Because I've been a part of the New Age crowd since I was a teenager. I'm 38 years old now. And I started going to all these events, to all these things around 14, 15 years old. So over 20 years now, 23 years, and I've been seeing all sorts of people in this community, some in alignment, some most certainly not in alignment, and actually tuned into some energies that are deliberately meant to siphon energy away. Back in like the early 2000s, the internet was not really the place yet where you would go and connect. There were a lot of these paranormal events, psychic fairs, like kind of like book fairs and like little shops and people doing readings, all these typical psychic fairs. So that's the way that I first connected with the spiritual community. And this is like the year 2000, 2001, like that's when I started connecting with all kinds of people. And I was obviously very young. My mom is a channeler and a Reiki healer, so we did this together a lot of the times, but I would also go on my own. I would just ride my bicycle. And I grew up in Belgium. Everyone rides bicycles. So I would just go to these places on my own and just explore and walk around. And because I was so sensitive to energies, I could immediately feel that there was a whole bunch of different energies. I did not know anything yet about starseeds, about reptilians, about any of this. But I could immediately discern as a 15-year-old, like, oh, this person feels light. They feel like they have this light energy. They feel like they are a healer. And then there were other people, and they had some kind of like weird energy. It's like there was some kind of a split going on. They had this thing that they were presenting, and then their energy felt way different. And because I was 15 years old, I'm like, why am I getting two different things about this person? This is what I'm seeing from this person, but then this is what I'm feeling from this person. And that was really good practice for me, to see all these people in real life and to just kind of walk around on my own when I went to these events and see how I felt about these people. And a lot of these people were important figures in the spiritual community. They wrote books, they were like famous psychics back then. And so I was like, okay, yeah, these people have a name. They've made a name for themselves. And I could not help but really feel darkness coming through some of these people, especially when they were doing these live lectures, because a lot of these things had separate little rooms where they would give lectures, and you could immediately feel that there was some weird stuff going on. So that's what I was feeling back then. And now we have the same thing happening, but it's all become online. It's all started to like happen online, these virtual events. And you look at the numbers. You, like back then it was how many books has this person written, how famous are they, how well are they known in the spiritual community. They're talking about them in this community, yes. And now it's more like how many YouTube followers do they have, how many Instagram followers do they have, stuff like that. How there's this glamour spell that a lot of them have over them. It's this layer of glamour And this is an actual spiritual technique that is being used by people. And again, that's why psychic abilities are not necessarily synonymous for being awakened and in alignment, because you can use these techniques, such as these glamour spells, these cloaking spells, to make people see you in a certain way. And that's why it's so important to never ignore your gut feeling. Anyway, but so why am I saying this? Because I've been in this community for a while, and so me and Ryan, and a lot of you will know him, we were talking about this topic because it's something that he talks about a lot also in his videos, and we will be talking more about this. But I got the idea of I want to do something around this. I have a free course where I do give some basic advice on how to connect to your intuition, to your higher self, how to discern who is talking to you, what guides are communicating to you, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. But I want to do more around this specific topic of discerning who is going to be good for you and who is not necessarily thinking about your well-being. So please let me know, if you're now live, what would be a way that would work for you to receive this information. How would you like to learn more about this? Would you perhaps like to read it in some kind of a book or a PDF? Would you like a video course or a webinar? How do you think perhaps me and Ryan can do this together, or I'm doing it on my own? We'll see how we can help you to practice this discernment and embody this more. So that is something I wanted to ask, and if you're watching the replay, then just put it in the comments. So yeah, and of course you're more than welcome to also just reach out for a session or a reading, but it's not because I'm giving you all this, oh, what is psychic versus being awakened. That does not mean that you have to work with me, because again, if I'm teaching you discernment, then you have to feel into your heart and see if this is good for you. Working with me, would that be good for you, yes or no? So feel into that always. And so I got a lot of comments on this from people both on Threads and Instagram. I have a few comments here. Maybe seeing you would be better. Where are you now? Do you have retreats? Yes, this is something that I have been thinking about, in-person retreats. For the moment, we're traveling a lot. We are going from place to place. But because we are flexible at the moment and traveling, it would be perfectly possible to find a few locations to actually do stuff in person with people, because that is something that I have been wanting to do. And definitely, I think maybe a webinar would be a good idea. But so some of these comments were so true. You can be highly psychic, you can be highly gifted psychic, and use your gifts to self-serve at any point in the journey. And my experience with these people have motivated me to stay in alignment with God, somebody said. And somebody else said, there's too much spirituality that's only serving the self-advancement and doesn't question human-made systems of oppression. That's toxic and dangerous. And somebody else said, thanks for sharing. An aligned psychic will never tell you what to do. Give recommendations for their life choices before or after the session, as they respect the free will choice of souls. Source gifted us free will choice. The ones who are aligned also respected in others. And somebody else said, this is why it's fundamental to develop psychic gifts from alignment and a solid spiritual growth practice. And then somebody else said, I feel like this is not talked about enough. I began to fall into the trap, but before I got too deep, I realized what you are saying here. I had to spend about a month realigning to truth. And then somebody else also said, if you have no psychic awareness, that doesn't mean you cannot or should not aim towards what is genuinely good. That matters far more than some like psychic abilities. And that is also very true. It doesn't make you special because you have developed these abilities or because you have remembered how to activate these abilities, because we all have the ability to be intuitive. There are tons of people who are living a life that is in perfect alignment with God, that have no psychic abilities or no desire to develop psychic abilities, and those people are far more in alignment than people that appear to be communicating with God, but they are actually communicating with energy in general and not necessarily with the God frequency. Somebody else said, "You are speaking my language. This is why discernment is needed when choosing an energy practitioner to work with." We all have access to energy, source God. It's how you choose to use it that makes the difference. So this is true. And so I pulled some cards. I did not look at them yet because I felt I needed to pull some cards without looking. And we're gonna see what this is. And of course, this here says broom, energy clearing, freshening. And I usually just do this for the full moon, but I felt like doing a little in-between card pull. But we are in a phase where I feel that a lot is coming up. We're also in Mercury retrograde now, and there is a lot of this energy clearing coming up. And I'm in Mount Shasta right now, which is apparently the root chakra of the planet. And there is a lot of like foundation stuff coming up about the foundation, clearing out the foundation. But I feel that this is not necessarily limited to me being in this location. I feel this is coming up for a whole lot of people. I've been hearing this. This here, moon cycles, Archangel Hanael, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations and capitalize upon these cycles. So this is coming up too, around this topic, when you feel that this is coming up for you, and sometimes people start to doubt their own intuition. Because you're listening to the experts or people that you perceive to be experts, because these people are talking a whole bunch, and they're online, and like me, I'm now talking to you, and you see me maybe, and you think, oh yeah, you are this expert, blah blah blah. No, I am literally trying to show you the inner expert in you that already knows everything, that has gone through these mystery school trainings, that knows everything, that has the ability to connect to God always, just like how I am connecting. And this is what Jesus said, and I'm definitely not saying that I'm some way connected like to Jesus or that I am Jesus. But Jesus said, don't do what I do. Basically, you do the things that I do. Don't listen to me and worship me, but I'm this role model for you, is what Jesus said. He's not like, worship me and all the things that I'm saying here. He's literally just showing you all the things that I can do, you can do, and even better things is what you can do, is what he said. So that's literally the way it should be when you tune into somebody, whether it's a book that somebody wrote, whether it's online, a course that you're taking, whether it's a video that you found on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or blah, 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 or you go to a reader, a healer. If they are not making you feel like, wow, what this person does, I can do this. I can connect to all this information. I can connect to God. I can do all this on my own. Because that should be the goal of any good healer or reader, should make you feel empowered, like you have the ability to do all these things. And it doesn't have to look the same. You don't have to have some crazy psychic abilities. If you have the feeling inside of you that you have the ability to connect in your way that works for you, because it's gonna look different for everybody, that is how you're supposed to feel when you end a session with a healer, when you receive a reading from somebody. That is how you're supposed to feel. That is my goal for every person that I work with. That is how I want to make you feel. I don't want you to depend on me. I don't want you to have to feel like you need me to have this connection. I'm not this middleman. You have the direct connection to God on your own. And a lot of people in the spiritual community, in the beginning, yeah, you're going to feel like you need somebody that's going to help you. But the goal should not be to have to keep on going to these people and keep on coming back and keep on coming back. So this card here, the fire dragon, burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. This is literally what I just said with the dragons, burning away illusion and illuminating the truth. So this is what they mean. Anything that is coming up, like one of these last comments from somebody that said, I fell into this trap, and I realized this the hard way, basically, that not every psychic is going to have my best interest in mind. And you're gonna run into some bad experiences sometimes. So that's gonna be a part of your path, so that you can then see the truth, so that the truth can become illuminated for you. Step out of your comfort zone. So I feel also these last few months of this year and the beginning of next year, a lot of people are going to be confronted with some stuff that's going to be unpleasant. And that is going to suck, maybe. But the thing is, yeah, that probably will suck in the moment. But the goal is to then get to know yourself better and to get to know different sides of yourself, so that you can make choices for yourself that are more in alignment, and ultimately you're going to be pushed towards following your intuition. And the lesson is going to be, oh, I should have listened to my intuition. I can trust my intuition. What this person does, what this person does, I can do all this too, if I listen to my inner voice, this inner voice. Inner child attunement, go within, listen, loving parenting. So a lot of inner child stuff is coming up for people too. And now Mercury retrograde obviously is all about communication things that will come up. So let's call this reading like a mid-month Mercury retrograde check-in. That's a good one. That's the title I'll give this. Let me see, I have a comment. Georgina says, I love you. You always speak such truth, and every time I've worked with you, you've done what you're suggesting. Yes, because I'm just kind of giving people my experiences, my advice. I'm not trying to be some prophet or preacher. I will never tell you what you have to do, like somebody here. If something doesn't feel in alignment with me, or like I see that somebody is not following my advice, I'm not gonna get mad or be like, you have to take my advice, you have to do this, you have to do that, because I cannot control your journey. I may see where you are still blocked perhaps, and it's not up to me to judge. I can discern it and see where you are still having trouble breaking through some blocks, but I cannot control the pace of the healing, and I should not do that for you. I am here to reflect back to you what I'm seeing, but I would never try to force your path or infringe on your free will, because it's up to you to do what feels comfortable always, and I'm gonna assist you from that place. So yes, still it's a great format for the subject you want to talk about. So yeah, I don't think I have anything more to add to this. I just wanted to kind of share this. So in the comments, if you're watching this again later, anywhere where you're watching this again, let me know if you like, what questions do you have around this topic, psychic abilities versus being an awakened person, and how you would like to learn more about this, and what questions you have. Just put them all in the comments. Put your questions in the comments, and I'm gonna see how I can create something around this. Obviously there's gonna be dragons involved. We always work with the dragons, and those dragons are the golden seraphim dragons, and they are all about your spiritual mission, illuminating the truth of who you are and burning away all illusion of who you are not. One last thing that I do want to add, that I did not add in the original post that this whole video was about, is that there are actually deliberately planted people in the spiritual community, because a lot of the times you're very naive and you enter into this whole community thinking that everyone wants you to be happy, everyone has your best interest, but there are people that are doing this subconsciously that have no idea that they're connecting to negative energies. And then there are people that are very aware of the fact that they are connecting to negative energies, and that are not wanting to empower you, but that are wanting to disempower you so that they can then siphon your energy, because they are not connecting to God directly, so they have to get their energy from somewhere. And you are seeing them as these experts, and if you're not leaving the event, the reading, the healing, closing the laptop after watching a video feeling empowered, but you feel unbalanced and you feel confused, that is not a good sign. So that is not good. So that's the last thing I wanted to say about this. So let me know in the comments any suggestions on how we can offer this, what we can do around this to help you, because that really is the goal. Like, sure, I love working with people one-on-one. If you want to work with me, I have a whole bunch of different options. I have 2 things on sale right now till the 5th of December. Go check that out. But the goal of this video is not even to get money or sales or whatever. It's to just share more about what that means, having psychic abilities versus being awakened, because that is really my goal for the people that watch this, is to get you to understand that you have it all inside of you. You can work with me, you can work with anybody, doesn't matter, but you have everything already inside of you. It is waiting to be awakened. And if I can be the person that helps you awaken all of your inner knowledge, then that's awesome. If it's somebody else, that's also awesome. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Georgina says, every reading I've ever had with you has always made me feel empowered. Thank you. Because that is really what I want. That is the goal. And yeah, I would be disappointed in myself, or not really disappointed, because I'm also just very hard on myself, I believe, sometimes. But I would not feel like I got the full potential out of the session or reading if that is not the feeling that you have in the end. This video is perfect for me. Thank you very much. Thank you for anyone who was live here. Thank you if you're watching this later on replay. Let me know in the comments the suggestions that you have. And if you want to work with me, reach out, check my website, and I will be back later with more posts and videos. And subscribe to my newsletter if you want to stay up to date on anything that I'll be organizing, because it's always gonna be sent out in the newsletter first. All information can be found on my website, in my link tree, and I will see you again later. Bye bye.